up, beautiful souls? Your boy Loon is back with another Reddit read, and today we are on the infamous r/IncelTears. For those of you guys that are new to the subreddit, this one is full of the goofiest and cringiest incels you can possibly find. IncelTears is home of heinous incels that talk down upon women and also other men too. It really be your own sometimes. Yeah, but this is not to say that there aren't chill incels, because there are, and I've known some too. We're just gonna be talking about some of the cringes today. And real quick, if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you guys are up to date on every upload and help me towards my goal of 13,000 subscribers. Also, thank you to everyone who's been supporting so far. And today, let's get into it. It's been a while since we've been on IncelTears. I think it's been like 2 weeks. Also, apologies, I haven't uploaded the last 2 days. I have been in a wedding group, or a wedding party, so that's been taking up my time. But let's see what's been popping. All right, this one's funny. It says, why can't the incels be like the noble koala? We got a koala here, and it says, when koalas are unable to find a mate, they simply climb back into their tree and sleep again, appearing entirely unbothered. Respect. Honestly, when a koala is that unbothered, I bet you the chicks come up to him. I mean, look at this guy. He living his sweet life. Kind of looks like Danny DeVito. I don't know why. I'm going to blur the title of this one real quick, and then we can read the rest. This incel wants to interview and then unalive women if they give answers he doesn't like. What? And this is a comment that seems to be on Reddit. It says, who do you want to unalive IRL? And then someone responded saying, the comment says someone from Discord and just women in general. That's who he would want to unalive. What? Why? And what's wrong with people in Discord? Oh, speaking of, you guys want to follow my Discord? Link in the description box. But just women in general. You want to unalive all women in general? Do you realize, like, then you will forever be an incel for life because then there's just no women? And then, like, the human species would just completely fail too. What? This guy might be gay. Could be. I would go up to women, interview them about dating and height and stuff like that. And if they blatantly lie, then I unalive them. What? I wouldn't unalive them if they say they prefer tall guys or handsome guys or whatever. Only if they lie. So if a girl says that they prefer shorter men, which I know this guy's gonna lose his mind when I say this, but I've actually encountered a lot of women like that. I'm 5'4". If they're dating me, they're more than likely preferring shorter guys. Like, nope, they're lying, unalive. Pew, 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 pew. Like, that's so crazy to think about. It's like if they don't somehow agree with their own black pill mentality, they're lying all of a sudden because the black pill is always right. If they virtue signal and talk about personality while having a tall boyfriend, then I will pull back or pull my pew pew and empty the mag. That is an insane thing to say. Another homicidal maniac who cannot find love only because he's short. Dead ass, bro. That is the perfect summary of this. This one says, white incel seethed in comments on the video of an Indian guy with his white girlfriend. So we got a video on Instagram Reels, Indian guy eating with his white girlfriend. Totally like normal. I know like this is gonna baffle some people out there, but there's interracial couples, especially in America. Like I see this stuff all the time. Like most of the time I'm in an interracial couple, most of the time. All right, the comments say, not with a brownie, crying emoji. What? Like they're just straight up racist? That's so goofy. How did Rashish pull this one off? He's actually a pretty good looking guy. I know it's gonna baffle these guys, but sometimes it just takes like caring about yourself and looking good. It has nothing less to do with race. Sometimes it does have some things to do with race. Like there are genuine people that have racial preferences. I'm not saying that there aren't, but there's a lot of women, especially women that date me, because they probably won't have a racial preference or they have an Asian preference. There's some people that like, Indian guys. And oh, also, here's the thing too. A lot of women that I've encountered, I know this is going to sound crazy, but they'll do anything but white. I know I'm not even trying to like be mean, but this is what other women have told me. They'll be like, yeah, I'll date anybody but white guys. And I think that's so crazy in my head. I'm like, all right, good for me, I guess. Bro redeemed it. These comments are mad incel. Yeah, I agree. Shout out Oscar for pointing it out. What the hell even is this supposed to be? Like, how are you making fun of him in that way? Never mix. That's crazy. It's like these guys are just actual low-key neos. I don't know if I could say the full word on YouTube, but years of evolution just disappeared like that. What? How? Evolution is to be the best form of what? How is mixing race bad to evolution at all? That doesn't make any sense. You guys are idiots. Good shot. Biaya? I don't even know what that is. I swear the pew pew loaded itself, and I love how the creator like these don't mix is crazy. Man, that's silly. Oh, this one sounds wild. Sick, disgusting creep does mental gymnastics just to justify cuddling with 15-year-old or a 15-year-old girl. Wow. Okay. Well, let's dive into this one. So we're on Reddit, of course. The cesspool of Reddit sometimes. I mean, I love Reddit, but here we go. So we got someone here saying AOC is in my country is, okay. I got you. The age of consent in my country is even lower than 16. It's 16 or lower in most of the world too. Game is game. Ew, what? What kind of logic is that? I don't care what country you're in. I don't care. If you're like a bigger gap away, I'm talking 21 or something, and you're with anybody under like 18, it's fucking weird to me. It doesn't matter the legality. In the eyes of the society, you're a weird one. Because think about yourself at that age of like when I was 15, bro. I was playing Call of Duty every day. No clue what life even was about. I had no comprehension of life, let alone thinking about stuff like this. Like, that's insane to think about. Ew, it's just so nasty, bro. And also this whole thing that like a lot of most of the world, yeah, because of like Middle East, and it just because other countries do it doesn't mean it's good. No, I think it's nasty. What the hell? All right, let's continue. This guy, someone comments on that and says like, stay far away from any high school or middle school. I agree. I wish I could upvote that. And then the original creep incel dude says, why? You can't do anything about it. I live in Europe and the age of consent is 15 in my country. I can do all kinds of stuff with, oh, that's nasty. I'm not saying that. As long as they're not recorded and they're 15 of age and it's all legal. Calling the police won't do anything since it's legal. Buddy, look, these guys that are just doing all these little gymnastics around it, it don't matter, bro. You're still a creep. You could say whatever you want. You still a creep. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, in my eyes, I love him as an actor, but dude's a creep. Like, what else can you say? If you're 50 hanging out with 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds, you're still creepy. Is it legal? Yeah, but it's fucking weird. Bill Belichick, that's to me is still weird. If you guys didn't know, the now coach of the Tar Heels and old coach of the Patriots is dating like a 22-year-old or something like that. Let's see. So Bill's 73. Dude is all right. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm not gonna be ageist here, but and his girlfriend is how old? 24. Wow, that's nuts. Like, look at this. Dude could be her great grandfather. But hey, man, look, legal, yes. Creepy, also yes. So the guy commenting goes, so you're admitting to liking 15-year-olds at your big age. Yeah, I wonder how old this guy is. Wish there was context on that. Dude's a freaking weirdo. You know what's funny? I bet you he's not even in another country. I bet you in America and just claiming that. Maybe not. This just sounds funny. Well, it might be true. The dating pool is 98% soup and we're all spoons. Fact checked by a raccoon in a hat. Why dating is so hard for guys. So most of the women are attracted to higher guys, right? This is like the standard thing, except for they tweaked the whole little chart here. And they said the top guy is literally a guy who knows how to spell banana. The guy under him, believe it or not, sentient cheese with strong opinions on anime. And then the one under him screams every time he hears the word moist. Built entirely out of discarded fidget spinners. Believes birds are government drones. And then the last guy says screams yeet before every kiss. Actually just a mop with sunglasses. Dude, yeet before every kiss would be so cringe. Oh no, women have standards. All right, so the incel.is actual page tweets out, this is just another reminder that femcells don't exist. And for those of you guys that don't know, femcells are the counter to this, women that are involuntarily celibate, which I'm pretty sure has to exist at least. I mean, not to a degree of incels, of course, but at least a little bit. Like, there has to be some women out there that just in their environment can't get what they want. Probably because they also have standards and stuff too. Actually, I do know that. No, there is femcells because I actually knew a couple for sure, like in person for 100%, because they didn't want to, give their first to someone who wasn't worthy, but at the same time, they weren't waiting for marriage or anything like that either. Anyway, so they say this is just another reminder that femcells don't exist. They're just women holding out for good looking men. What? So that is in femcell then, right? Because they have standards. That's just a reasoning why they're a femcell. An incel could be an incel for the same reason too. That's just so baffling to me because it's like saying like every guy just doesn't have standards. And like, although that's a funny statement to say, I have definitely met incels out there. I knew a guy, chill guy, who didn't want to lose it to somebody who he didn't deem was worthy to him. And then he eventually lost it way later in, I think 26, 27. But hey, that's amazing, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I respect it. As long as you're respectful to other people, like, who cares? These are the incels that are just goofy and cringy AF to not believe in, like, as if standards aren't a thing. And then r/forever alone woman says, I don't care that I'm ugly. I still want a gorgeous boyfriend. And then he was tackling that. See, a better counter to that is saying, like, if you're able to be a beautiful person in general, like personality wise, even, that will go far and you'll be able to pull beautiful people. That's just the way it works, buddy. I've seen so many men and women pull above their weight physically just because of their like amazing personalities. But nope, these guys won't believe that. All right, so this one says, well, it's true. The bar is wildly too high for us men. Okay, r/lies, that's funny. Fact checked by myself. All right, we got another one of the charts. This is the classic chart. Why dating is hard for guys. All the girls like this one guy who is literally the bare minimum. That's so true. So true. Raging misogynist, raging misogynist, raging misogynist, raging misogynist. Oops, I have to blur that. And all you'll have to know is the rest of them say like really bad things, and then the bottom is like violent and an A, and then the way bottom is R word, yeah, PDF file, and yeah. And this is kind of true, and I'm gonna add to this, it's actually a little sad, but every now and then some of these women actually do go for the misogynist. And I know for sure, like I've had some friends that have dated some very interesting guys. When I meet the guys, I'm just kind of like, he's one of those. And then, it usually doesn't work out or something, thank God, but that's sometimes the case. Incel's imagination of Asian women. Gee, if only I could start a life with a fat neck beard incel from America who hasn't left his basement in years. Yeah, that's what they think, that they, like these guys who are, what are those called? Passport bros. Go to an Asian country, thinks that they can just, and even if they can with money or whatever, it's not like not only more morally right thing to do, but like also it's just weird as fuck. Like, you really think that you'll live a happy life going to another country where a woman doesn't even know English much, and then just because you can offer them a green card or something, they're gonna like, that's just not a fulfilling life, bro. And why would you want your girl? There's so much could be said. I'm not gonna even say it. We're gonna dive into it another time. All right, this one says, WTF does this even mean? Hypocrisy. First guy smoking says, I want to get cuddles. What should I do? The girl says, just be kind and nice to girls. The next guy's, the guy says, same guy, I was kind and nice to girls, just couldn't get cuddles. And then the girl crying saying, just because you were kind and nice doesn't mean that women owe you cuddles. And then the guy gets torched. So to simplify this, what these guys are thinking, the guy who posted this meme is saying, oh, girls told us to be nice. Then we're nice. Why don't I get cuddles, right? And it's like, brother, oh my God, my brothers in Christ. Like, listen, Being nice is one of the bare minimums. And these guys, they're like, what are you telling me? There's other things I have to do. Yes, buddy. You think it's just that easy? If it's that easy, it wouldn't be this important and this prominent of a thing, and also this amazing of a thing as well. Like cuddling and all that stuff, right? Like, anybody's just gonna do, oh, you're nice. All right, here we go. And you know what's crazy? There probably is someone out there that does have that wild of a bare minimum, but you shouldn't. I think, and even guys, even you as an incel, if you are an incel listening to this, right? You should have some form of standards. You should love yourself to have that, because you can't just be doing whatever, bro. That's nasty. Yeah, it's baffling to me that these guys can't understand that everybody should have at least a baseline of standards, and it should not just be nice. Because that's just like, just being a good human is a good thing, maybe. Also probably smell good. Think about that. I know that's a wild one for some of them, but so many other things too. It's a whole list of things, and every girl has a different list, you know? I think an incel has made this thinking emoji. A cartoon from 1926 criticizing flapper girls for being less traditional than previous generations. So the girl on the left, aka the traditional woman, can sew, cook, tend to farm, a doctor, what? Okay, makes preserves, crochet, and plays the zither. There's still girls like this. And why is that sought after more than Charleston, shake a cocktail, wisecrack, drives a car, play bridge, earning my own living? Wait, am I weird that I find that more attractive than this? Because I'm thinking, okay, let's think about this. A girl who can sew. Also, girls can sew who can also drive. And you could, it's not like, it's almost like these guys are like, if you cook, no way can you shake a cocktail. No way. It's past the bylaws. Like these are such goofy things to say that traditional women do. Doctor's a wild one to throw in there. But because if you're an actual doctor, wouldn't you be earning your own living too? Yeah, this is weird. Marriage inducements of the older and younger generations. Yeah, I mean, if we're going band for band, right? I actually like this girl more, I think. A girl that sews, I'm indifferent. I can sew. I mean, like, really sew? I guess that's cool, but I don't really care. Cook, yes. I do like a woman that cooks, but also it's not a deal breaker because I can cook. Doctor's a wild expectation to have a girl. I only date doctors. Making preserves is so silly to say as an important thing. Yeah, I do not give a F about that. I would like a woman that can drive a car, so I don't have to depend on me. Why would you want a girl who can't drive a car? I would love a woman that could shake a cocktail. I don't even know what a Charleston means. Earning their own living is important to me. Why would you want a girl that doesn't? It's like these guys want these super dependent women that just depend on them for everything because they're so insecure, and so they think that like they need that, just someone that is always, and then they also don't understand that when someone fully depends on you, it's not fun. It's not a good thing, guys. Anyone else amazed that earning my own living is an insult for anyone? Yeah, literally. Like, how is that at all an insult? Even with, obviously this is posted by an incel nowadays, but even this poster back in the day of 1926, right? How the hell did guys think that this was like more attractive than this? That's insane to me. If I was in 1926, I'm talking Peaky Blinders era, I 100% would have been a Thomas Shelby and into these women. Judge me if you want, buddy, but this is like making preserves. Are you serious right now? That sounds so much more boring than somebody who can shake a cocktail. Pretending to be cats now, I see. All right, here we go. r/pit of cats. Someone says meow and then posted this meme in it, and it's a bunch of cat women laughing of men on tea without their consent. What? The same women seeing their pics and personal information being posted on 4chan without their consent. Oh, this is referencing the T app of men. Yeah, we did a whole video on this. The T app situation is goofy. I don't get this meme though. Aren't they pretending that the women are cats? Incels pretending to be cats would be pretty crazy though. But it would make sense given how envious they are of dogs. I don't get the meme, but that whole T situation, for those of you guys that don't know the T app, that's silly. But it's both sides are silly. Like the T app itself, having women go on there just pretty much like ruin guys' lives. with no fact checking at all is crazy. And then the other side with 4chan giving them the whole like hacking and now their information's out. That's nuts too. All right, so this one says many men who claim to be conservative today aren't conservative. They're just conservative towards women. That's not traditional. That's hypocrisy. Also, that's like very different in terms of social conservative versus like financial conservative, things like that. There's so many. I hate that like the concept of conservative and also like liberalism is just a blanket statement for all opinions and all viewpoints. I wish that our society in America, at least, could be more nuanced and there could be more like layers within it. Like you could be, I'm blah, blah, blah. Like I'm almost all liberal, but I have some very few things that I do agree with conservative. So it's like, how the fuck do I classify it? That's why I just say I'm like in the middle because I really don't know, but I lean left a little. Many men, especially socially and like towards this stuff, man, like how could you not just be okay with everybody being happy? It's just genuinely that. I don't know. Many men today love to throw around the word traditional, quote unquote, but only when it applies to women. They want a modest, loyal, pure woman who's submissive and has no past, while they themselves are out here chasing hookups, playing games, dodging compliments, and bragging about situationships and friends with benefits. That is, okay, you know what's crazy? That's very true. And I know that's true because I know a lot of guys in real life that are like this. It's something about their like just brain and the way that they work, right? It's definitely a double standard too. You know how these guys, they chase this fun, exciting, doing all this stuff with women, but at the moment that these women, the same women they're doing these situationships and friends with benefits are doing, they're viewed as not pure and loyal, so they would never actually date them, right? So it is an actual phenomenon I have observed. It's very fascinating. I wish that there was more studies on why men are like this and like the whole concept of this as a whole. Anyways, continuing says, that's not traditional. That's not conservative. That's just misogyny dressed up as morality. Yeah, I think it's insane of me to judge someone based on this if I'm not this in my own eyes. How I think of it is like, if I was a girl, would I date me? And then vice versa. It is not really fair if I were to judge a girl based on that because I'm not something too. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, you know? Like you can't, I mean you can, but it's just, it's hypocritical. It's silly. At least back in the 1950s, the actual conservative men, however flawed that era was, believed in monogamy, commitment, and taking responsibility. If a man back then said he wanted a good wife, he was also preparing to be a good husband. Now, these so-called, quote-unquote, traditional men are using the old-school expectations of women as an excuse to police and shame them, while not only holding themselves to a fraction of the same standard. Okay, that's the main part right here, holding themselves to a fraction of the same standard. Look, at the end of the day, they can like whatever they want. I'm not here to judge these guys on preferences. I know guys genuinely who prefer traditional women. That's fine. I know guys that don't give a either. I kind of don't. I mean, like I'm not against the traditional woman, but at the same time, like I'm not against a modern one. I don't think they're like, my qualities that I look for aren't even on that scope. I'm looking for so completely different things. But this is what's important. Not being able to be aware of holding yourself to that same standard. I have no room to judge a woman's past because of my past. Like, not to say like it's that crazy or anything, but like it's one of those things. It's like if I judge them, they're allowed to judge me. If I don't judge them, I mean, they're still allowed to judge me. Anybody's allowed to judge whatever, but it's like, who the fuck am I to say something, you know? That's how I view it. You can't say that you want a traditional, quote unquote, woman and then ghost her after cuddles or go browsing dating apps for casual flings. You're not conservative. You're not just enforcing double standards. Conservative values without self-discipline aren't values. They're control tactics. Very true. Okay. If your version of traditional only ever limits women and never you, guess what? You're not conservative. You're just a hypocrite. Yeah, I agree. If you're a dude out there that wants a traditional woman, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. You might be a traditional guy, but act like a traditional guy too. I mean, hold yourself to that standard, right? I fully agree with this. I don't know if this is really an incel tier post, but I know this would enrage incels because I know a lot of these incels, they want their trad wife. Ew, this is nasty. I'm blurring this. This says PDF files going crazy on Lil Tay turning 18. First off, Lil Tay is 18. I am so old, and Sora wants to be in the video. Say hi, buddy. You also think it's weird that Lil Tay is 18 now? Yeah, I think he thinks it's weird too. So someone in the Reddit post of it says, we can only hope Lil Tay is 18 soon. That's fucking creepy, dude. Bro, these comments are insane. I see why this is flagged as NSFW now. Someone said this little, dude, ew. This little derogatory term will eventually give into what the money, when that money isn't rolling in anymore. And then some guy says he's gonna goon to her stuff. I'm not gonna even say that, but there's so many heinous things in this. This is insane. That's so fucking creepy and weird. And of course it's on Reddit, because where else would these guys be? And speaking of being blurred, I apologize for blurring these, but these are like very heinous things that I cannot show on the screen at all. This one says, I'm getting worried. And a guy says on looksmaxing.org, sorry, there's a gnat in the room. Looksmax.org? Is that a thing? No way. Looksmaxing.org is a thing? Is this another incel forum? No way. Guys, we just found another video series. If you guys are interested in me diving into looksmax.org right here, aesthetics matter apparently, let me know in the comment section down below. Wow, this is another incel forum. It seems a little less evil, but more looks based. Is it? Best of the best submissions. Let's see. Teeth whitening. Oh, this isn't as bad. Okay. So I guess looksmax.org is kind of incel-y, but it's mostly like their terminology is extremely incel-y. However, they're just trying to look the best that they can. So this is interesting. It's like incels trying to get better with the help of each other. I'm very intrigued with this now. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. This is insane. But anyways, on this Looksmax page, someone posted that GTA 6, and this is why I think Looksmax is an incel form. Someone says GTA 6 should have a R-word option. Wow. They allow unaliving, theft, frauding, drug possession, a bunch of stuff, but yet they don't have R-words. BS. That's insane. Yeah, I need to dive into this forum. I hope you guys want that, because this seems like an insane forum if they're saying stuff like this. So this one says, LMAO, the incel IS thing posts out, the official one tweets out, I never kissed a woman before. I never held hands with a woman. I am still a virgin. 31 years of living like this, shares a piece of lore about your dating life. And it's a guy who's like full of hearts, in love with his computer. That's a wild self-report. Dude, I mean, this is gonna be a crazy take, but who cares if you're 31 and a V? Like, the only one who cares is gonna be you. Like, I'm not gonna judge someone. Like, what? That doesn't impact my life if you are. If I meet a woman who is, and I'm dating her, yeah, that's gonna be a kind of a turn off to me personally, just because that's a lot of pressure. But anything else like that, I'm not gonna view them any lesser. I can still be their friend. Like, and same with the guy. Like, nothing matters about that. It matters about how you act because of it. Like the whole whining and going on here, women suck because I'm not getting any, blah, 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 blah. And then like other guys suck too because they're getting it. That's what I care about. That's the whole point of these freaking videos, man. Yeah, someone says there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a V. There's a lot wrong with being a V that whines about females online. Yeah, that's literally the whole freaking point. This one says incels still raging about the T app. Nuclear Caldio tweets out the men who were posted on the T app versus the women that were posted on them. And then he says, not surprising, the men are much hotter than these. Oh my God, he uses the oids word. The obvious dynamic here is one, men F anything that moves. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that, but I'm gonna say men historically have had lower standards, and that's something wrong with us. I view it that anybody who has a lower quote unquote standard lacks some self-value and worth, I think, and it has insecurity, but I don't know. Two, women inundated with, we'll say, excited men are choosy in who they cuddle, and only the hot men are getting cuddles. Three, hot men are unwilling to commit to the ugly, wow, oids they're cuddling. Ugly blank get frustrated that men won't commit, and then all kinds of crazy lore about the guys who to avoid facing reality. This is a crazy thing to come out of just the T app situation. And also, based off of these pictures, I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not going to point out who, because these are real people, but some of these dudes are not good looking guys. So I don't know what he's claiming. And then to sit here and say that these dudes are like handsome studs, there's a couple handsome studs, I ain't gonna lie about that, but a lot of them, they ain't good looking guys, buddies. You have a warped perception, my guy. This one says, here we go again. High max level projection. All right, we're on DMs on Reddit, and Incel here says, why do you insist on publicly humiliating lonely men? What? Okay. Dang, I gotta blur her name. Why do lonely men insist on needlessly insulting me? And then he says, because they are in pain and sick. What are they sick from? What? You can't get sick from just not cuddling. What in the world are you talking about? We have to find them before they hurt themselves. That's true. Yeah, you shouldn't. And you should be very careful about stuff like that. You don't react when a lunatic, that's a me. I'm just playing. Insults you because they are not sound of mind. When my grandmother was on the decline from her battle with acute hysteria, she could be very vicious. So what you're saying is that these guys are to the level of your grandmother who had acute hysteria, saying that these incels, just because they don't get women, have like that level of sickness. You're insane. She says they're not sick. They're not lonely because of some divine force. They're just lonely because they think it's okay to say and do horrible things to women. Exactly. And that's, again, the difference between a normal incel, chill one, and these goofy goobers. Oh, God, here we go. This one says, Sigma denounces attraction to 15-year-old girls. Oh, brother. All right, we're on incel.is. All right, we made it back on the forum, guys. Forum's post says, disrespecting boundaries and maturity is normal and necessary. Oh, wait, no, respecting. Sorry. Oh, my God. Respecting boundaries and maturity is normal and necessary. Yeah, wait, that's a good post then. I mean, at least the title. But let's see what he says. Men are not, quote unquote, programmed to chase barely legal girls. Oh, what the hell? How the hell did this get connected to what you just said in the title? So men are not programmed to chase barely legal girls. They're capable of maturity, restraint, and respect. Are you saying they're as in the girls or the men? I'm confused. Being attracted to emotionally and physical maturity is not a flaw. It's a baseline standard. Calling a 15 to 19-year-olds grown is just a creepy cope. Oh, okay. They're still developing mentally, emotionally, and often legally. Okay, I'm with this. Yeah, there's nothing natural about grooming or excusing it with pseudoscience. Okay, we got a rare freaking educated post here. Wow, I am. This is why I say IncelTears every now and then. There's a glimmer of hope in this forum. Because we have seen it in my Incel IS videos. I've seen like 2 or 3. And this is probably be number 3 or 4 right here. But he continues and he says, there's nothing natural about it. Here's a graph of what real adults find attractive. Maturity, shared life goals. Age blanks aren't crying. They're just calling out for whatever they refuse to grow past. Do you think it's a coincidence that these people go after 16-year-old always seem to be so emotionally stunted? Nah, it's not. It's what we're quote unquote programmed to. So he goes on a whole post about, okay, fuck yeah, that's amazing. I like this. This is awesome. After a long, hard day scrolling on incel forums for 6 straight hours, I come across this gem. Unlike the usual evolutionary LARPing, this post actually promotes maturity and basic decency. Imagine that. A wild concept in a space where the average user thinks that A developing brain is peak femininity. Yeah, and you know what? You know what's crazy? I bet you he got crucified and like God just tear like everyone in the comments, but maybe not. My hope is that he didn't. I mean, I'm glad there's people like this out there, even in the incel community, like as there should be. Even if you're an incel, man, it doesn't mean that you can't be a good person, bro. This is just something like normal basic decency right here, bro. Yeah, well, that's crazy. Anyways, I gotta end it on that note. I gotta go to dinner, but I love you guys so much. Thank you to if you guys have been, following me on my journey on YouTube. Sorry I haven't posted because of the wedding I was at this weekend, but I'm back and I'm also cooking up another video essay. If you guys didn't check out my last video essay, we did one on one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. So yeah, you guys check that out, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.